Gladiator 2 arrives with the weight of a cinematic legacy on its shoulders, a legacy built on honor, vengeance, and the roar of the Colosseum. The original film left an unforgettable mark on audiences around the world, and this sequel, directed with a steady and ambitious hand, aims to both honor that legacy and push it into new territory. The film does not simply revisit the past, but instead forges ahead, introducing us to a new era of conflict and redemption set decades after the death of Maximus. The narrative picks up in a Rome that is no longer at the peak of its power, but still clinging to its sense of dominance and destiny. The world has changed, but the blood in the sand remains just as real, just as crimson. Our protagonist, Lucius, played with intensity and conviction, is the grown son of Lucilla and the late nephew of Emperor Commodus. Haunted by memories of the gladiator who once defied an empire, Lucius finds himself drawn into a familiar yet evolving struggle for freedom, justice, and personal truth. He is no Maximus, but that is precisely what makes his journey so compelling. Lucius must carve his own path amid echoes of legend and expectation. The story of Gladiator 2 unfolds with a rich narrative that balances political intrigue with visceral combat. The Roman Senate is fractured, internal corruption threatens the empire from within, and rebellious provinces strain the borders of imperial control. In the midst of this turbulence, Lucius is torn between loyalty to family, duty to the empire, and a burning desire to understand his own place in history. The script skillfully weaves these thematic threads into a tale that is both intimate and epic. Lucius is not a man of many words, but his actions speak with power. Each decision he makes, each life he takes or spares, moves the plot forward with purpose and weight. His internal conflict is rendered beautifully through his interactions with other characters, both allies and enemies, all of whom are drawn with depth and nuance. One of the film's greatest strengths lies in its supporting cast. Each performance adds dimension to the world we are invited into. Lucilla returns, now older and more politically savvy, yet emotionally burdened by her past. Her scenes with Lucius crackle with unspoken truths and motherly fear. Another standout character is the cunning General Marcus Verus, whose allegiance remains ambiguous until the very end. His presence injects an element of unpredictability and moral complexity. Visually, Gladiator 2 is nothing short of a triumph. The production design captures the faded grandeur of Rome in its twilight years. From crumbling temples to crowded marketplaces, the settings breathe life and authenticity. Every frame feels like a painting, every corner of the screen filled with deliberate detail. The Colosseum makes a thunderous return, and its gladiatorial battles are choreographed with breathtaking brutality and artistic precision. These action sequences serve not just as spectacle, but as storytelling devices. In each fight, the stakes are personal and political. The choreography favors realism over fantasy, capturing the fatigue, fear, and fury of combat. The clang of steel, the roar of the crowd, the silence before a fatal blow, it all immerses the viewer in the arena. The score, once again composed with thunderous emotion, provides a stirring companion to the visual storytelling. Echoes of the original themes are present, but the music evolves alongside the narrative, introducing new motifs that reflect Lucius's unique journey. The soundtrack swells in the right moments and pulls back when silence says more than sound. Gladiator 2 does not attempt to recreate Maximus. Instead, it explores how the legacy of one man can influence another's destiny. It questions the nature of heroism, the cost of vengeance, and the fragility of power. Through Lucius, we see how history can shape identity and how even a broken world can inspire moments of honor and courage. What truly sets this sequel apart is its refusal to follow a predictable path. The film takes risks narratively and emotionally. It dares to be patient when it could be loud. It chooses contemplation over chaos more often than expected. These choices may challenge some viewers, but they ultimately elevate the story to something richer and more meaningful. The climax delivers a payoff that is both satisfying and haunting without relying on spectacle alone. The emotional resonance of the final act lingers long after the credits roll, tying together the film's themes in a powerful and poetic conclusion. Of course, no film is perfect, and Gladiator 2 has moments where its ambition slightly outpaces its execution. Some dialogue scenes linger longer than needed, and a subplot involving a potential uprising in Gaul feels underdeveloped. However, these minor flaws do little to diminish the overall impact of the film. This is a rare sequel that respects its origin while daring to grow beyond it. It does not trade nostalgia for creativity. It honors the past by asking new questions and offering fresh answers. It invites viewers not to compare, but to reflect. Gladiator 2 is a story of legacy, identity, and sacrifice. It asks what it means to fight for something larger than oneself. It reminds us that true strength often comes not from glory, but from purpose, not from victory, but from resolve. If you watched this movie, I would love to hear what you thought about it. Did the story of Lucius resonate with you? Did you feel the weight of the legacy left by Maximus? Was there a scene that left you breathless, or a moment that stayed with you long after the screen faded to black? Your opinion matters a lot. I want to know how many of you would give this movie a high rating from 1 to 5. How many stars would you give Gladiator 2? Did it live up to your expectations? Or did it surprise you in ways you did not see coming? I am also looking ahead to the next movie to review, and I want your help. What should I dive into next? What picture should be the next journey we take together? Should it be a brand new blockbuster, a classic worth revisiting, or a hidden gem waiting to be discovered? Drop your ratings in the comments and suggest the next movie you want me to watch and review. I am here for all of it, the big moments, the quiet ones, the thrill of the fight, and the soul behind the story. Let us keep this conversation going and keep celebrating what makes movies unforgettable.